年證券及期貨修訂條例草案委員會主席嘅選舉，根據載於內務守則嘅選舉程序呢，我而家請委員提名主席一職嘅人選，有效提名呢係得由一名嘅委員口頭作出，並須由最少另外一名委員口頭附議，並為獲提名嘅委員接納嘅。請委員提名。梁君彥議員。
陳鑑林議員。
有冇獲議？張華峰議員獲議，我願意接受嘅。有冇其他提名？冇其他提名有冇需要選副主席？冇需要。好嘅，大家冇意見嚇。OK。好啊，我哋請政府同埋證監會嘅同事入嚟。坐呢邊。係。嗱，我歡迎呢財經事務及庫務局嘅副秘書長殷美薇女士、證監會嘅行政總裁歐達禮先生、證監會嘅法律服務部首席律師楊以正先生，另外呢，就亦都有財經事務及庫務局嘅首席助理秘書長何確珊女士仲有就係證監會嘅其他同事，我就唔一一讀啦，好嘛？仲有就係有律政司嗰邊嘅高級法律助理同埋律師咁樣好嘛？咁呢就首先我請殷女士呢係先介紹份文件，好唔好？
多謝主席。各位委員，我哋今日要處理嘅呢就係2015年證券及期貨修訂條例草案。咁呢個條例草案包括嗰啲建議呢，都係因應證監會佢哋喺佢哋嘅運作上，喺實行佢哋個監管個功能上面呢，近年積累嘅經驗呢，我係希望就住有啲範疇呢，有啲範圍作出一啲改良嘅。其中有一個比較主要嘅建議呢，就係關於同佢哋嘅海外監管機構去交換一啲關於監管上面嘅資料嘅。咁就其餘嗰啲係比較技術性啦，就希望譬如係我哋建議呢，就取消咗對於一啲發牌上面一啲人士嘅即係紙張嘅牌照等等。我或者喺呢個機會呢，就請歐達禮先生或者就住一個主要個建議，即係話證監會可以同佢哋嘅監管對手呢，或者機構呢去交換關於喺監管上面嘅資料呢一方面嘅建議首先作出一個發言。
好啊，歐達禮先生。
Thank you, and thank you for this opportunity to speak to members about this bill, which in essence will enable the SFC to align its existing ability to provide supervisory assistance to foreign regulators with international standards. As has just been mentioned, we're also taking the opportunity to address some minor anomalies in the SFO that have emerged during the 12 years the SFC has been administering it. Now, given that the supervisory assistance aspect of the bill has attracted most attention, I'll take the time I've got today just to deal with that aspect and to explain why this small change is nevertheless important to Hong Kong as an international financial centre, and why it can also be beneficial for Hong Kong financial intermediaries. Now, I think that the key point to bear in mind is that Hong Kong's success as an IFC, an international financial centre, is rooted in its globally open markets. That means that we've got a major interest in being able to obtain information from foreign regulators in order to properly supervise overseas headquartered firms in Hong Kong, and also to do all we can to ensure that our homegrown firms, our local firms, can access overseas markets to expand their businesses. Now, the first objective depends on our ability to conclude reciprocal agreements to share supervisory information with foreign regulators, where the SFC is both a provider and a recipient of information about globally active firms. Reciprocity means that our ability to reach these agreements with foreign regulators can depend on whether we are able to provide information to them, which is equivalent to the information we expect to be provided to us. And if our ability to obtain and pass on information is more restricted than that of a foreign regulator, particularly if we fall short of international standards or expectations, the foreign regulator may actually refuse to cooperate. Now, the second objective, which is about market access to overseas markets, depends on the existence of sufficient gateways to provide information to a foreign regulator so that it's happy to rely on Hong Kong's supervisory oversight of local firms when allowing them to tap markets and investors in the foreign jurisdiction. Now, I think it's important to understand that under the SFO, we already have the ability to share with foreign regulators a large volume of supervisory information already gathered by us for our own purposes. The problem we're now dealing with in this bill is that we don't have the ability to obtain additional information from a licensed corporation which may be of special supervisory interest to a foreign regulator. And we would certainly expect that foreign regulators should be able to provide this sort of information to us if we request it under similar supervisory arrangements. Now, we believe that this lacuna exists because at the time the SFO was enacted, supervisory cooperation, as distinct from enforcement cooperation, hadn't yet assumed its present international significance. And that contrasts, as I say, with the position on enforcement cooperation, which was already well developed and which differs from supervisory cooperation because it's mainly about investigations of suspected misconduct with a view to obtaining evidence for use in subsequent legal proceedings. This is not what supervisory cooperation and this amendment is about. I should also point out that the information already held by us for our own supervisory purposes is likely to constitute the bulk of material of interest to a foreign regulator. Other requests for additional information under the amended provisions might therefore be fairly infrequent. Nevertheless, the bill now before the committee is designed to fill the gap so that Hong Kong comes into line with international norms and to enable its markets, investors and licensed corporations to benefit from the twin objectives I referred to earlier, reciprocal arrangements for the exchange of information and access to foreign markets. Now, in fact, this proposal was triggered initially by recent difficulties we did encounter when negotiating market access arrangements for Hong Kong, for Hong Kong intermediaries with the European authorities. These were conditional on the existence of adequate supervisory information arrangements under EU law, including the ability to request firms to provide information not already held by us. So that was the trigger for this amendment. Now, having set the scene, I just want to quickly focus on the main features of the proposal, including, most importantly, limitations and safeguards. Now, the key point is that the information requested by an overseas regulator can only concern a licensed corporation or its group companies, which is regulated by the SFC and the foreign regulator. It isn't a free-for-all for information requests made by all sorts of foreign regulators without limitation, anything but. For that reason, the proposal should not add to the compliance burden on local brokers and other licensed firms who are unlikely to be affected if they don't have a physical presence in the foreign jurisdiction or aren't wanting to operate there under a selling or marketing exemption or similar concession falling within the foreign regulator's jurisdiction. It also follows that this is only about licensed corporations and their group companies. The proposed power has no relevance at all to listed companies or any other unlicensed businesses. And the proposal doesn't allow us to conduct a fishing expedition for any and all information held by a licensed corporation. It only concerns information about regulated activities under the SFO, which fall under the SFC's jurisdiction and which we can already obtain for our own purposes under existing powers. Now, the second point is that requests from foreign regulators will only be acted on by the SFC if the foreign regulator confirms two things. First, that it can't actually obtain the information by other reasonable means. Second, that the information requested is essential to enable the regulator to decide whether the licensed corporation poses a risk to financial stability in the foreign jurisdiction or whether it's in compliance with the legal or regulatory requirements there. The next point is that as with all existing information requests, the public interest is a guiding principle, and we must also take into account whether the foreign regulator can reciprocate. And finally, supervisory information gathered at the request of a foreign regulator will be subject to important restrictions on its use by that regulator. And the most important of these is to prohibit the foreign regulator from using information provided by it for any enforcement purposes, including criminal proceedings. Before doing that, the regulator would need to initiate an entirely separate investigatory assistance request under the existing SFO procedure. And in that case, all rights to claim privilege against self-incrimination would apply, and in all cases, legal professional privilege and personal data privacy laws would remain unaffected. So, in other words, all of the existing protections applicable to enforcement assistance would apply in full. And also, the bill also makes clear that the foreign regulator must keep the supervisory information provided to it confidential. All of these new safeguards must be confirmed in a written undertaking given by the foreign regulator before any information is actually passed to it. So, in sum, we believe that the proposal represents the minimum necessary to ensure that Hong Kong can take advantage of the benefits of greater cooperation amongst international regulators. Now, separately, before the bill was introduced into LegCo, the SFC attended a meeting of the panel on financial affairs in April to explain some of the proposed amendments. Now, some honourable members at that meeting suggested that a review or appeal mechanism should be available to firms asked to provide information. And parallels were drawn with the local tax information exchange regime. Now, we looked at that proposal in depth, and whilst we understand the concerns raised by members, we don't believe that the analogy with the tax regime is accurate. And the main point, I think, is that the tax information regime only provides an opportunity to check and correct information to be sent to a foreign tax authority. It doesn't enable the taxpayer to challenge the actual decision to share information. And further, the accuracy of information shouldn't be a concern for licensed corporations who receive a supervisory information request, for the simple reason that it can only be sourced from the licensed corporations or their group companies themselves, rather than from a potentially unreliable third party. It follows that there is little or no purpose in replicating the tax information mechanism in the bill. And I should also say that there isn't any precedent internationally for an appeal or a review mechanism for a decision to provide supervisory information about regulated persons to another regulator, including Australia, Singapore, the UK and other jurisdictions. And that isn't surprising, because to do otherwise would run counter to the prevailing international trend towards greater cooperation, particularly since the financial crisis, over the regulation of cross-border market participants. And further, if a regulator outside Hong Kong decides that it doesn't have sufficient confidence in the degree of supervisory cooperation available under Hong Kong law because of an appeal, or a similar procedure, Hong Kong does risk, in our view, being excluded from global regulatory networks enabling greater cross-border market access, thereby affecting its firms and its status as an international financial centre. So, to wrap up, the bill proposes what we see as a limited but important SFO amendment to enable Hong Kong to maintain a regulatory regime which ensures they can operate effectively within today's global markets to its overall benefit. And we believe that that objective is firmly in the public interest. And that's because it enables Hong Kong firms to have more assured access to overseas markets and also enables the SFC to protect Hong Kong investors and its markets by obtaining more and better supervisory information from foreign regulators about globally active firms through a series of reciprocal arrangements. So having said that, we seek your support for the proposal, and we're happy to answer any questions.
Okay, thank you. 張華峰議員，多謝主席。即係最近嘅內地嘅股市係大跌嘅，咁啊曾經有傳聞呢，中國嘅中證監呢就嚴厲查處即係個人嘅做市，咁而且呢佢哋好重視呢調查是否有外資進行惡意嘅拋空，咁嗰個我哋香港拋空其實係合法嘅，我哋都冇一個咩叫做惡意拋空嘅概念。咁如果中證監呢以金融安全同埋嗰個理由即係用金融安全作為一個理由，向我哋香港嘅證監要求，即係提供一啲即係喺香港券商沽空嘅數據。咁因為兩地嘅法例唔同，咁證監會唔會受理呢？我哋香港證監會唔會受理呢？點樣去即係回應佢哋嘅要求呢？唔該。Leslie。
Well, I mean, generally, I don't think that question really relates to this bill, because that would be more around investigation cooperation as a topic. I think that's the first thing. The second thing is that both we and the CSRC and over 100 other regulators around the world, in the context of investigation cooperation, enforcement cooperation, are all signed up to a multilateral memorandum of understanding under the auspices of IOSCO. And therefore, if we make requests of the CSRC under that document for information which is relevant to potential misconduct in our markets and vice versa, we would normally respond. Because that's fundamental to the way in which regulators, both here and in the mainland, but globally, are able to manage cross-border business.
咁但係回應係點呢？係咪你真係將我哋香港嗰啲券商嘅資料數據全部呢，即係叫交俾中證監去即係查核呢？歐達利先生。
Well, the arrangements that we put in place, for example, which we spoke about last October, before Stop Connect was put in place, involved an enhanced memorandum of understanding, which actually went further, recognising the increased connectivity between our markets than the arrangements under IOSCO, the multilateral arrangement I referred to. And we believed at that time that that was necessary, partly because it's mutual and reciprocal, secondly because each regulator, although rules and laws are different on each side of the border quite clearly, each regulator has a real interest in accessing all the information necessary to manage potential misconduct in its own market, which may emanate from the other market. So that arrangement was very clearly around that purpose. So depending on the nature of the request, and we would have to assess what the nature of the request might be in detail, but generally speaking, our position, which is aligned with all major regulators, is to cooperate under these arrangements rather than not, for the reasons I mentioned earlier on.
我仲想問一問呢，如果海外嘅監管機構佢向我哋證監攞一啲本地嘅法團嘅資料，但係呢嗰個海外嘅機構嘅資料呢唔小心俾海外嘅監管機構公開咗、泄漏咗，咁請問本地嘅法團如何追究呢個責任？應該向邊一方面去追究呢？好，大李先生。
Well, the obligations of overseas regulators under these memorandum of understanding underpinning supervisory cooperation, but also enforced cooperation, is predicated on the idea of confidentiality. And confidentiality undertakings are given. Now, in our experience, they are honoured. And the reason that they're honoured is that the whole system would break down if there was evidence that regulators were leaking information provided under those arrangements. Now, beyond that, so far as legal redress is concerned, I don't really have a comment, because I think that gets into a different topic. But so far as we're concerned, the most that we are able to do, and should do, so far as a foreign regulator is concerned, is to ensure that there is an explicit recognition that information provided is confidential, whether it's enforcement information or whether it's supervisory. And so far as enforcement information is concerned, which is not part of this proposal, this is under existing SFO procedures, of course that information can be used in proceedings, and that again, that's reciprocal. But in all cases, all the normal protections arise, such as privilege against self-incrimination, legal professional privilege, etc.
我最想問問，就因為呢咁樣嘅問題呢，所以上一次呢，梁君彥議員呢提及呢，即係希望設立一個上訴機制，嗰個讓呢需要提供資料嘅持牌法團有機會向證監提供佢哋呢抗辯嘅理由。咁而家呢個提議呢，即係喺個證監會嘅資料文件度呢，就冇再提呢個問題，所以我哋覺得呢方面係咪證監仲要？即係考慮下係咪即係有冇其他嘅考慮需要對於嗰個提供嗰個客戶資料嘅保密程度係加強啲咧？
Well, I touched on that in the opening statement, but I think our general position is that we do recognise the why the concern was raised. But I think that the reference to the way in which tax information is handled that's different. The way that tax information is handled is to do with effectively checking its accuracy. It isn't to do with being able to prevent the tax authorities from supplying it to an overseas counterpart. That's the first point. The second point is, because the information itself is being sourced directly from the licensed corporation, it then naturally has an opportunity to check that it is accurate. We're not accessing this information from any third party. In which case, if we did that, you could envisage a situation where licensed corporations might be concerned. The third point, which is I think the most important, is that we believe that if you include an appeal mechanism, if an appeal mechanism is included in this legislation, then other jurisdictions who may be minded to enter into arrangements around the exchange of information with Hong Kong may not do so, which ultimately means that Hong Kong's market could end up being more isolated than it should be, simply because they wouldn't accept that we're providing a mechanism that is sufficiently internationally compatible.
OK， 最後我都仲想最後震一震我哋證監同政府。佢喺個條例草案呢第7部分之中呢，政府將小型嘅期貨嗰個期權同埋股票嘅合約呢嘅徵費由0.108元呢改為0.1。咁呢個雖然好少啊，但係能夠解決咗我哋嗰個中小企業嗰個交易系統，因為佢未能夠符合點數3個位，所以好多人呢都好擔心要唔要花啲錢再去 upgrade 嗰個電腦。咁而家呢，我哋嘅證監同政府呢就 wait 咗以後嗰個0點後嘅3個位，即係0.1。咁呢個幫我哋好大忙，即係我哋除咗質詢之外，我哋喺呢方面係讚政府同埋證監嘅。唔該。
梁繼昌議員。
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just some fundamental question on the policy of this amendment. Can the SFC confirm that the the language used in the draft legislation, which includes an authority or regulatory organization outside Hong Kong, the term authority or regulatory organization only includes signatory members of the agreement under IOSCO. Is my interpretation correct? I'm just referring to the Amendment Bill C-1027. Although I'm aware that we're not going to do the clause-by-clause examination yet, but it is just a very broad, broad-brushed question.
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Alder.
Let me have a stab at that, and then if there are people who are more into the weeds of this, I can pass it over. But I think the answer is it would be wider, potentially wider. So, for example, at the moment, the general position is that supervisory cooperation has followed a long way behind enforcement cooperation. Generally, it's only really picked up after the financial crisis. But the sorts of overseas organizations or regulators that we are now dealing with under these sorts of arrangements, under our existing powers, include the, in the UK, for example, the PRA, which is the Prudential Regulatory Authority, the Bank of England, and the Financial Conduct Authority. Now, only the Financial Conduct Authority is a party to the enforcement MOU, I think. So that's an example of why I think it might be wider, but Andrew on my right might correct that.
Andrew.
Perhaps I can just amplify a little bit. This would pick up the existing provision in Section 186(5), which requires our potential partners to be authorities or regulatory organisations that perform similar functions to those that we perform, and also that are subject to adequate secrecy provisions. So effectively, it'll be analogues of ours in other jurisdictions, many of which are already parties to the IOSCO MMOU anyway. But there may be a few on the outskirts that aren't currently. But they would still have to go through the same process. We would have to ensure that they carried out similar functions and they were subject, they had secrecy provisions in their law that were comparable to ours. That's the assessment we go through, usually as a precursor to an MOU.
Okay.
So, okay, I understand that. Now, the second question I'm going to raise is about the type of information. As I understand it, this is the kind of information SFC has already in possession. You are not requiring the licensed corporation to, to dig out or regenerate some information and pass it on to the overseas regulator. Is my understanding correct?
It's a little bit different. So right now we collect supervisory information from licensed corporations in order to do our day-to-day inspection work.
Yeah, of course, yes. Yeah.
And that's a large amount of information, naturally, because it comprises returns and all sorts of other information which we get from them. Now, right now, in response to a request from an overseas regulator, we have the ability to exchange that, subject to the normal safeguards, which and pass it across, and that would normally be under these sort of reciprocal arrangements. What this amendment is doing is to deal with what I called earlier on a small but important change, was that, and it was triggered by the negotiation we had with the EU around Hong Kong asset managers being able to access EU markets. The standard that is expected is not only to be able to pass on the information that we already have, that large collection of information, but it's also to be able to make an additional request for more information at the request of the overseas regulator. In other words, not information that sits within the SFC, but the licensed corporation has. So that's the additional scope, but that can only be provided or asked for if the overseas regulator wants it for financial stability purposes in its own jurisdiction. If it can't get it in any event, or to look at whether or not a licensed corporation or its group companies, which also operate there, are in compliance with its own laws and regulations. So that is additional, but we can't, as I said earlier, we can't go on a fishing expedition for all sorts of information. It has to be information that relates to SFO-regulated activities. In other words, activities that are under our wing in any event, and in respect of which, for our own purposes, we can require it if we need it. That's the flavour of it. So, yeah, it is different to the assumption, as you described it. It is that the essence is that additional information request.
Okay, I understand that. Just to add on to what you have told us, can you clarify that? Is that a precondition that the kind of information to be requested by the requestor regulator, those information must be legitimately requestable by the requester authority? That is, under the domestic law of the requestor, that is legitimate for them to obtain that type of information. Is that one of the conditions that those information requests must comply with before you or the licensed corporations could pass on the information?
In a sense, yet not as precise as that. In other words, there's no precondition that the overseas regulator must be complying with its own law, because I think it's reasonable to assume in these circumstances, when we're dealing with regulators, that they will be. But the crucial sort of safeguard is that the overseas regulator must undertake in writing to us, or certify to writing to us, that it can't get the information in another way, acting reasonably, first. So we're not the first port of call necessarily. Secondly, as I mentioned, that they need it to handle financial stability issues in their own jurisdiction, or they need it to deal with compliance issues in their own jurisdiction. So they need to certify to us the purposes for which they need the information, falling within those categories only. That's the essence of it.
But the point I'm drilling at is, if those information would not have been legitimately obtainable in their home jurisdiction, and then they asked you to provide them with those information, that would be a very awkward situation. Maybe you should, bear this in mind when we further think about, the condition you are going to, to impose on the overseas authority. And the following question, because Honourable John Wafung has just raised a question about the appeal mechanism, which I think, Andrew, you have mentioned about it last time. But my understanding now is that there is no appeal mechanism. If an organization, a licensed corporation here, cannot give you the information due to various reasons, maybe it would be quite onerous for them to produce maybe some sort of analysis, things like that. What can they do? It seems that there's no appeal mechanism, and of course, I think if they are not complying with the request, then they will be penalized. So what is the arrangement for that kind of situation?
Well, there isn't a set appeal mechanism, for the reasons I mentioned earlier on. If it's the case that a licensed corporation believes that it has a legal reason, not a legitimate legal reason, not to supply the information, and it could be, there could be various types of legitimate legal reasons, though I expect it will be a very small minority of cases, then on a case-by-case basis, it will be up to the licensed corporation to put that to us as to why it feels that from a legal perspective it's not open to it to provide information. Now, and we would have to look at that on a case-by-case basis, but otherwise we would expect the information to be provided to us, and the crux is ultimately around this idea of reciprocity. We're not doing this simply because we wish to help overseas authorities. We're doing this in our own interests to ensure that we can enter into reciprocal arrangements in order to access information, equivalent information from overseas authorities, and also enable our firms to access overseas jurisdictions. That's the motivation here. And that's why, ultimately, if you put if we put appeal mechanisms into this type of legislation, we would not achieve those objectives, or at least those objectives would be at risk. So, yeah.
Sorry, perhaps I can just supplement a little bit. I mean, in terms of enforcing these obligations, the existing Section 180, into which one of these key amendments will go, already provides that if you've got a reasonable excuse, then you won't be prosecuted. So, which sort of reinforces what Ashley's saying, that to the extent that a licensed corporation has a reasonable excuse for not supplying the information, for example, it's covered by legal professional privilege, then I mean, it won't be prosecuted. I mean, it won't have to comply.
Okay. Yeah.
前總議員，
主席啊，其實我都有幾個問題，逐個問咧就，我想即係交換資料嗰度咧，即係其實你哋期待係個多邊嘅協議，定係一個多邊嘅協議以外再有雙邊嘅協議咧？第一個，第二咧就頭先都有提及過，可唔可以詳細啲講講就係、其實係咪被調查嗰個人咧，被要求協助嗰個機構咧，攞咗啲即係佢嘅資料，即係你哋將佢嘅資料俾咗人哋咧，佢知唔知道你俾咗啲咩佢？你哋需唔需要清清楚楚話翻俾佢聽？嗱，我俾咗咩嘢人哋個機構咁樣，就有冇一啲制裁嘅機制？就係即係頭先啲同事都問過，但係即係制裁機制唔係指制裁我哋嗰個被調查嘅機構，而係制裁嗰個對方嗰個嘅監管機構。嗰個監管機構如果佢違反咗，即係你有協議嘅，你違反咗啲協議，佢無論佢違反係有目的地違反，或者係一時錯手、一時失職，或者咩原因，咁有冇咩制裁機制嘅咧？
好啊。Mr. Ashley.
Sure. Right. Okay. So on the question of whether or not we would be entering into multilateral or bilateral, initially it would be bilateral, and that's the case for all regulators, because although there is an ambition within the sort of global regulatory community to eventually end up with a multilateral arrangement very similar to the enforcement multilateral memorandum of understanding, that's quite a far way down the track, simply because supervisory cooperation for securities regulators is quite new. So yeah, bilateral rather than multilateral on a case-by-case basis. So that's the first one. The second, if we forward information, if we get information from a licensed corporation and then we forward it to an overseas authority, do we have to tell the licensed corporation what we forwarded? The answer to that is, I think, no. We don't have to tell the licensed corporation of that fact. And secondly, sanctions. Now, I think the reality in cross border or international relations between regulators, I think it's recognised that the most one can ask for are non-legally binding undertakings cross-border, because if one asked for more, you would end up in a position where you would never reach agreement on a legally binding obligation. But in practice, the sanction, if there were breaches of, for example, confidentiality obligations and such like, is that regulator would seem to be ultimately an international pariah. In other words, someone who should not be in the club, as it were, of regulators who cooperate. And others, including the jurisdiction that may have been harmed by a disclosure, would therefore have to think very carefully about whether or not they would be working with that regulator at all in future. Now, from that regulator's perspective, that is quite a major deterrent, because all of us in this globalized world want to have good access to cross-border information. So the short answer is legally no, there are no actual sanctions, but practically yes.
我跟住我頭先嗰三個問題咧，主席，你哋如果係而家個目標，即係假時間順利過咗呢個法例之後，你哋而家話係主要初期最少一段嘅時間係要會達成一啲叫雙邊嘅協議咁樣。你有冇啲目標嘅地區或者國家咁樣？你估計你攞咗呢個權之後，主要 嗰個即係合作對象或者係合作對手啦嚇，係邊幾個地區啊咁樣樣。而譬如話你要幾多個地區，你先至 cover 到80%嘅需求咁算啦嚇。大體你睇睇點答案。第二點嘅關於被調查嘅，你冇需要去通知佢被調查嗰陣，你攞啲咩資料俾佢？咁其實點樣驗證嗰啲資料係，即係當然啦，你查緊佢啲乜嘢，咁你話俾人哋聽，我查緊佢啲乜嘢咁啦。咁但係如果你俾一啲資料佢嗰啲咧，就佢又唔知道你俾咩資料佢，咁啲資料正唔正確嘅時候係點樣驗證咧咁樣？第三點關於個制裁嗰度咧，喺嗰個雙邊協議上面，即係當然啦，你話即係如果佢哋違反咗，就以後即係咩即係唔 belongs to the club 啊，即係你唔喺嗰個圈裏邊咁樣樣。但係客觀上如果冇一啲嘅制裁嘅機制喺裏邊嘅時候咧，咁你擔唔擔心係因為有啲嘅監管機構，你唔知譬如你交易對手嘅機構，佢點樣去動用佢啲嘅資料嗱？即係當然佢嗰個我唔知道佢有冇可能性會出現到就係因為佢啲嘅佢啲嘅即係點啊？被調查香港被調查嘅對象都好啦，佢可能同一啲佢哋國家嘅機構，即係佢哋要入嚟，即係佢國家裏邊有啲嘅公司要入嚟啊，咁你就將佢競爭者嘅對手俾咗佢，咁佢唔知用咩方法嚟俾咗佢嘅機構，咁啊有利個競爭等等，即係呢啲都係可能性。咁如果你喺成個系統裏邊制度裏邊，你冇一啲叫做防止或者係制裁嘅機制嘅時候，會唔會太危險嚇
？Leslie?
Yep. Okay, on the first question, which is about bilateral arrangements and target jurisdictions, in general terms, the jurisdictions that we are spending most of our time putting together bilateral memorandum of understanding are the major international financial centres where the larger overseas firms which are headquartered in those places also operate in Hong Kong and are important for our market. So that means in practice places like the UK, like Switzerland, and of course the United States. Those and Germany, France, those sort of jurisdictions. Now, you're quite right, it takes time to build up the underlying memorandum of understanding and gather the undertakings to enable us to do this. But currently, we do have, as I say, negotiations on foot with authorities in most of those jurisdictions around different types of supervisory cooperation. So how long it would take to reach 80% of all those jurisdictions, I'm not sure, but it is incremental. It builds up over time. One thing I should say, that we would not pass information across normally unless we have a memorandum of understanding in place. And of course, under the new provision, which is this extension around additional information requests, there are an additional undertakings you've seen, which have to be in place before we provide information. That's the, I think that's the first point. The question about accuracy, well, I think that the only information that we're able to pass over to overseas regulators from a supervisory perspective is information that is sourced from the licensed corporation itself. So it will know that when we ask for information in order to pass on, which we would normally do when we're making this sort of request, it will be on notice that it would be in its interests to provide accurate information. Now, we wouldn't be providing additional information to an overseas regulator, because it would fall outside the scope of the request, I think, under this legislation. So by that token, I don't think we don't really have a concern ourselves about whether our licensed corporations should be worried about accuracy. And the final point about sanctions, I think you asked, are we worried that the information could be used for collateral and harmful purposes, in a commercial context? My general response to that is that no, we're not worried, because the track record of the sort of jurisdictions we deal with to date is such that would demonstrate that should not happen. In other words, for the reasons I mentioned earlier on, this whole sort of system, albeit for supervision bilateral, is based on high levels of trust and mutual interest and reciprocity. And if that isn't adhered to by regulators, you find that the system breaks down, and in particular, any regulator that is seen to be misbehaving, in other words, passing information across to commercial interests to gain a competitive advantage, will be frozen out of the system, whether it's bilateral or whether it's multilateral, in practice.
有關議員。
多謝主席。嗱，呢個交換嘅資料嗰度咧，咁當然就觸動好多神經啦。咁但係我希望即係政府或者證監都係講清楚。第一樣嘢咧，海外機構要求嘅資料咧係有個規限嘅，就唔係話乜嘢都可以攞嚇。咁所以人哋要求嘅規限就係因為佢有個法例同埋啲合乎即係一般證監嘅規例嘅資料，只係可以要求香港證監去俾。而證監亦都睇過係呢啲資料係一啲通常你哋即係做監管嘅資料至俾嘅，就唔會話俾埋晒啲第二啲嘢。咁第二樣嘢咧就係話，例如張華峰代表好多小經紀嘅，佢就喺香港做嘅。佢喺外邊係冇任何生意嘅，咁係唔應該，佢嘅資料係唔應該攞到俾佢，因為佢唔喺嗰個第二個監管機構嗰度嗰個地域裏邊做生意，所以佢唔應該係攞呢啲嘢嘅。第三呢，就係、其實好多數據咧都係一般嘅數據嚟嘅，即係你攞嘅資料係唔需要個license firm 係要做好多嘢俾你，即係等於好似呈堂證供咁俾你嘅，而係一般係喺 SF&C 要攞嘅資料咧，日常去就算做監管攞嘅資料就喺嗰度噶啦。咁即係呢一度咧，所以其實呢嚿嘢咧係好狹窄嘅，就唔係話講到好闊，人哋中意問你攞敵對人嘅資料，你又可以俾到佢咁等等嘅嘢。我或者希望政府或者證監可以講我嘅睇法係啱嘅。
Yeah, sure. On the first point, it really was about scope. It does only apply to the regulated activities being carried on by the firm, and so that means that the information that we're able to access and pass on to a foreign regulator under its request is basically equivalent to the information that we can obtain for our own purposes. That's the scope. The second aspect, the small broking community in Hong Kong, these proposals should not affect small brokers that are simply acting locally. And the main reason for that is that there is a limitation in the proposal, which is that this would only apply to a licensed corporation which is also regulated, or its activities are regulated by the foreign regulator, or one of its group companies is also regulated by the foreign regulator. In other words, an internationally active organization. And then finally, again, I think it was back to scope and the fact that the SFC in any event has much of this supervisory information collected through its normal supervisory activities. That is the case, and the purpose of this amendment, just going back to its original sort of catalyst, is to provide an additional ability to collect further information, which in any event we'd be able to collect for our own purposes if we wanted it, but to satisfy a request from an overseas regulator around the topics which I referred to earlier, which is for financial stability and compliance within that jurisdiction. So it is It's a small change, but it's an important change because without it, we do prejudice our ability to enter into these reciprocal arrangements where we are able to access information from overseas regulators, which affects our market.
換句另外調翻轉嚟問呢，譬如一個大嘅國際嘅公司，佢喺香港或者係其他金融公司都有做，而家做好大㗎啦。咁而係譬如美國或者英國係要求攞呢個香港分公司嘅資料，證監係會用翻即係一般嘅程序係會俾呢啲咁嘅資料係俾另外一邊你個 counterpart。
If the I'm sure the translation was right. So if an overseas corporation asks, no, we wouldn't provide information in relation. We only provide information in response to a request from an overseas regulator.
Yeah, obviously, when the overseas regulator requests information from you on a local branch of international firm.
Oh, yeah. The answer is yes.
Yeah.
Yes. 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 We would. In fact, that's one of the main purposes of. Yeah.
單仲偕議員，
主席，我想嗱，因為條例咧，當然我哋唔係 cross by cross 冇咁快啊，但係咧就我起碼我睇唔到有我嘅想像就係嗱，而家你哋會逐個去簽咗嘅 MOU， 然之後先至會即係當然第一件事梗係過條例先下，過條例之後咧，你哋就去簽 MOU， 簽完 MOU 之後咧。你就有個 basis 有個基礎就可以去交即係因應人嘅要求，或者我哋要求人哋去交換資料。嗱，我唔知道你哋有冇考慮過，即係我哋作為立法會把關都好咧。其實我記得我哋啲稅務資料啊乜都好咧，都有啲逐個國家要睇一睇咁嘅。咁係咪合適咧？不過我問合適，即係同埋呢啲 MOU 我估唔係太秘密嘅啫，我估都係啲好 general 嘅嘢。咁係咪？個法例係咪應該授權你哋？例如你哋簽咗嗰個國家就上嚟，我哋即係 negative vetting 逐個批咁樣，咁你先可以交換咧咁樣。同埋你唔係國家，應該係咪應該同嗰個國家嘅證監，即係相對嘅證監去簽咗 MOU 咁樣？咁係咪咁先至合適啲咧咁樣？即係我估你有冇諗過呢個方法咧？
Yeah, I mean, we do. I mean, signing MOUs, as I say, quite frequently on different topics. And on this topic, I mean, the international standard is that the MOUs themselves are not legislation. So, you know, in the Hong Kong context, they wouldn't come to LegCo for negative vetting. I think, in my view, the important aspect is to ensure that the safeguards, which would have to apply to all MOUs and exchanges of information, are very clear on the face of the legislation, and that would be the boundary within which we are able to agree MOUs. And MOUs vary in nature. I referred earlier on to the recent MOU, at least it was last October, we signed with the CSRC, effectively as a precondition to launching Stock Connect. And that itself went, as I say, a bit further in relation to collaboration than the international multilateral memorandum. So they do vary, but by and large the MOUs themselves are not internationally seen as legislation, and after all they're not legally binding in any event. So it's difficult to see how they could be negatively vetted. And they have to be concluded fairly rapidly, and they come in different forms. But as I say, it's the safeguard. We think it's the safeguard.
I don't mean to vet the MOU. I think what I mean is, you know, after the completion of the legislation, then you start the signing MOU, and then before we give the power to SFC to allow SFC to exchange information to a particular regulator in a particular country. You table the MOU for us for reference, but we simply to say yes, you can exchange with that regulator, having your MOU signed by yourself, by your organizations.
As a precondition for passing information across.
No, we don't vet your. We don't vet your. What I mean is, you know, if we pass through like this, we simply, you know, give a blank check to you. then you sign MOU for country A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Okay, and then you can exchange. But you know, if you have a little bit change, okay, after the completion, then you sign MOU with country A and country B. Then you table country A and country B the MOU, and then if everything is okay, fine, we negative edit. Then you can start dealing with country A and country B, etc.
主席，我諗或者即係咁樣問咧，即係問翻啊秘書長啱嘅。其實秘書長明白咧，喺稅務條例咧，我哋做咗個 master 之後咧，你哋係有每一個翻嚟咧，你都會攞翻嚟做咧叫 vetting 嘅。咁我即係問秘書長，呢一個喺一個 SFO 呢一度咧，你會唔會咁樣做？可唔可以考慮咁做？
係啊，多謝梁君彥嘅解釋。
我明白多謝主席，多謝委員。我明白後邊嗰個即係一啲思考啦。咁或者我可以咁講咧，呢一個同埋我哋嗰個稅務資料交換嗰個有啲性質上有啲分別咧。冇錯，相同嘅地方可能係我哋都需要立一個主體嘅法例，喺一個我哋授權嘅情況之下，去進行一啲雙邊嘅協議或者係商討咁樣。咁唔同嘅地方就係喺我哋稅務嗰個協議下邊咧，呢一個協議本身咧，佢係有所謂一個法定嘅權力嘅咁所以咧但係喺譬如一啲即係證券或者係財經方面嘅監管機構方面嗰啲所謂雙邊嘅協議呢，一般嚟講呢，就住而家個國際上面呢，都係一啲雙邊嘅協議，就唔完全話係放喺一個所謂法定嘅權力上面去衡量。咁但係頭先歐大禮先生都講咗，即使係咁樣，就唔代表簽啲雙邊協議嘅雙方呢，就唔會尊重呢個協議個裏面嗰啲要求，否則的話呢，佢哋之間嗰啲監管機構嘅互信呢，就會蕩然無存。呢個係影響佢哋兩間嘅關係呢一個好大嘅事情。因此放喺呢一個咁嘅情況去睇呢，而我哋亦都係要求，亦都係證監會而家都有做嘅。就係佢哋會將佢哋所有一旦係擬定嗰啲雙邊嘅協議咧，都會公開呢啲協議嘅內容嘅，甚至係會將佢哋擺喺佢哋嘅網站嘅上邊。咁所以我哋認為喺呢個情況之下咧，就應該就唔需要即係話經過一個所謂先審議後修訂嗰個所謂 negative 嘅 vetting 嘅程序，就未必適合。我估我哋可以提供嘅資料，或者係當譬如證監會簽訂呢啲協議嘅時候呢，我哋盡快可以通知有關嘅事務委員會，即係話有關嘅協議已經簽訂咗，第一時間呢去告知議員嗰個內容。咁我諗咁樣做可能係一個都係合適嘅方法或者我點解咁講呢？頭先梁君彥議員都好關心，即係呢個稅務資料交換嗰個情況。實情我哋喺政策上面亦都係關注呢個事情，因為畢竟係有好高嘅敏感度。當我哋即係而家係呈台俾議員嗰啲建議嘅時候，亦都係基於有幾個考慮。第一個考慮就係呢個係一個規範嘅所謂一個安排。第二就係話亦都係話佢個範圍唔係話容許佢個監管機構對手係無此放的嘅要求嘅資料。正如頭先歐大禮先生所講，係一個範圍比較狹窄嘅一個交換資料。咁而當中我哋亦都係有保障，或者再重複一講咧，我哋呢個有規範嗰個意思係有幾方面嘅。第一個咧就係佢個簽訂協議嗰個一方咧，必須係同證監會咧，佢實施有類似嘅功能，同埋佢會係俾證監會同樣嗰個待遇嘅。如果證監會係要求對方都係要同樣嘅資料嘅話，第二喺要求資料嘅範圍嗰度呢，佢一定嗰啲要求嘅資料係必須與證監會而家佢哋受規管嗰啲活動係個範圍之內。即係話佢唔可以逾越咗，如果證監會嗰隻活動係唔係受證監會規範呢，佢不能要求嗰方面嘅資料。 咁喺目的上面亦都受到規範，即係話佢只可以要求同嗰個金融嘅穩定啦，或者係佢合規，即係個法例方面嘅合規性嗰個情況係索取資料，除此外就唔可以。另外就喺嗰個資料嘅運用上，我哋要求有規範，就係話佢唔可以未得證監會同意之前將呢啲資料去披露，特別佢事前要有一個保密嘅制度去將呢啲資料去保密。而係喺證監會去同佢哋去考慮呢一啲規範嘅時候咧，佢係要用一個書面嘅承諾嘅，即係唔係話即係口頭承諾，係佢要白紙黑字寫低。咁因此我哋覺得呢一個承諾咧係一個比較係認真嘅承諾，係可以接受嘅一個保障嘅措施。最後咧就係嗰個規範嘅範圍，正如頭先所講咧，如果我哋香港呢個持牌法團佢個或者有關聯嘅法團咧，佢唔受到海外地方個規管者嘅規管咧，佢係唔需要係納入呢個範圍。咁所以喺呢一啲嘅規範之下咧，我哋就係政策上亦都係支持有一個咁嘅建議。當然喺執行嘅細節，我哋可以係聽取議員嗰個意見咧，睇下可以做得點樣係仲做得好啲咁樣。多謝主席。
好啊，同事仲有冇其他問題？
主席啊，當然啦，你講咗咁多，即係所謂保證都好咧，即係我始終都有啲唔係太舒服嘅，即係覺得好似即係嗰個權俾咗證監之後咧，佢就冇一個即係將來，因為證監嗰啲好多工作都係保密嘅。雖然佢有個即係董事局，咁但係究竟有啲乜嘢可以檢查到你哋？即係你都可能有 internal audit， 但係問題就係都有咩可以檢查到你哋咗嗰啲所謂交換資料嗰個係合乎個法例，或者係合乎即係頭先所講嗰系列嘅制裁咧，即係嗰系列嘅規定咧咁樣。冇人去管，即係點啊？證監咪管嗰啲機構啦，但係冇人去管證監佢將呢啲資料去俾咗人哋嗰個合唔合法啊？
秘書長。
多謝主席。我估其實證監會佢個行事咧都係受到制衡嘅。有幾方面啦。第一，佢要受到法律嗰個，佢唔可以逾越喺法律俾佢嗰啲權力啦，或者佢要遵守一啲義務啦、啲規則啦。第一啦。第二喺佢嗰個行事嗰個所謂嗰個過程嘅程序咧，我哋亦都有個程序覆檢委員會可以覆檢佢個程序嘅。因此佢一啲行事嘅手法咧，或者如果佢係即係行事嘅程序係唔合適以致令到有一啲即係受益人嗰個利益受損咧，喺嗰個程序上面咧係可以受到覆檢嘅。實際上過去我哋都睇到咧，我哋嘅程序覆檢委員會都有充分啦去檢視證監會佢嗰個行事嗰個方式嘅。最後當然啦，證監會每一個佢嗰個決定或者係行動咧，基本上都可以係受到司法覆核嘅一個監管啦。咁呢個當然係一個最後一個情況。咁我相信喺而家證監會佢個辦事上面咧，佢嗰個頭先所講啦，佢嗰個董事會啦，會係做出一個監察啦，同埋我哋喺機制上面都有監察嗰個情況。所以如果議員或者係就住佢嘅程序上面有疑問咧，我哋亦都係可以作為一個轉介，睇個程序點樣可以改善。
我諗幾樣嘢啦，好簡短啫，主席。你有個程序覆檢委員會，咁但係個程序覆檢委員會，我聽個名因為我冇跟到裏邊嘅工作咧，亦都唔係佢覆檢個程序啫嘛。佢有冇條件去睇嗰啲俾咗啲咩資料，係咪嗰啲資料應該俾，係咪 out of 嗰個 jurisdictions？ 呢啲係咪即係有冇機會有冇空間可以查到咧？咁樣第一，第二，你可唔可以講啲例子俾我哋咧？ 我都想聽下嘅。我諗交換資料就係雙方面嘅。有啲乜嘢嘅情況之下，我哋需要揾其他嘅嗱，即係而家我哋冇呢個權啦，將來有，譬如你從呢個紐約、倫敦簽咗啦咁樣樣，咁啊同佢哋監管機構去簽咗之後，你覺得我哋有啲咩時候需要去問佢哋攞資料？佢啲例子都當然唔係話某個嗰個公司啦，一啲個案你係需要佢哋咧咁樣樣，或者相反佢哋有咩例子係需要我哋咧咁？Ashley?
Yeah. So, I mean, in terms of examples, I mean, one of our major interests in this is to ensure that when, in particular, there are large European and US financial institutions operating in Hong Kong, notwithstanding the fact that they're headquartered in the US and the EU, we have far better access to information which may sit overseas, and in particular in those headquartered jurisdictions, which is of relevance to our assessment of whether those firms are compliant or indeed might be affecting financial stability issues in Hong Kong. That's our major interest in globally active firms, which are all headquartered overseas. The second thing I was just going to say, and getting back to the question of MOUs and such like, is it may be, I think, best when we get to the next meeting, and when we're going clause by clause possibly, for us to give a little bit more of a flavour on the MOU process, what we do when we enter into MOUs. The one thing I'd say is that actually MOUs are not essential to enable us to pass information to an overseas regulator or to receive it. What is essential is the legal framework, which is what we're looking at the moment in relation to this narrow extension of the power, which includes safeguards. That's the boundary within which we can operate. But MOUs are customary. And as has been pointed out, they are never legally binding. And because they're cross-border, they cannot be. But they're the basis on which you effectively, as regulators, build trust. So you have an understanding about the way in which you're going to operate, but always bounded by local law, whether it's our own legislation under the SFO, or whether it's the legislation which is binding on the overseas regulator. Those are the key restrictions on the ability to operate. The MOUs, as I say, are optional but customary in order to build up a greater level of trust, and they also often just deal with process themselves. In other words, who are you going to contact when you're asking a question, what sort of categories of information should be directed to certain individuals, etc. So a lot of it is around operational issues. But I think we can refer to kind of by way of samples later in the process as the sort of MOUs that we were talking about.
Yeah. 有個問題未答啊，主席。關於嗰個process review committee，佢可唔可以睇？佢哋有冇權去睇？即係將來佢哋有冇啲咩資料俾咗人哋嘅？睇唔睇呢啲嘅 ？Ashley，
主席或者我就一般情況而言啦嚇，就程序覆檢委員會其實係佢會睇個案嘅，大家知嚇，即係由嗰個個案或者由一啲抽到個個案嗰方面咧，去睇究竟證監點樣去執行佢嘅程序，有冇程序公義啊咁樣樣。咁我諗我即係就住一般佢哋會做，即係話個案佢都睇到。
我諗政府可以考慮咧，就係安排一次咧，即係議員如果係對證監嘅工作有興趣嘅話，可以邀請佢哋去證監會嗰處咧，係做一啲簡介啊，咁樣可能會加深議員對證監會嘅嗰個信心啊，同埋信任程度。梁繼昌議員，
唔該，主席。Mr. Elder, I think I want to pick up one point you mentioned about the status of the MOU. Of course, I mean, I'm again drawing an analogy between the SFO and the Inland Revenue Ordinance. What you were saying just then was that Section 186 or the relevant sections in the SFO alone could give you the statutory power to exchange information to give assistance already, even without any signing of MOUs, because it is inherently in the power within the ordinances which give you the power. Whereas, of course, under the Inland Revenue Ordinance, we set out the legal framework, and Hong Kong still has to enter into either a double tax agreement or information exchange agreement in order for the two sides to exchange information. So, is my understanding of the relevant section of the SFO correct?
I think that's right, because I'm no expert on the tax side of
No, I'm
life,
not. I'm just drawing an analogy. Maybe you can just enlighten me on this.
But I think you are. I'll defer to the administration, but in the sense that in the tax world, or the international tax world, as you say, it's based on essentially a network of treaties. Which are legally binding from a public international law perspective, whereas in the securities regulators world, that is not based on, these relationships are not based on any treaties whatsoever. So there are no legally binding public international instruments under which we operate at all.
Okay.
That means that the only legal boundaries on the way in which we share information, and it's pretty common across most regulators, are local law, which will always include, or in most cases include, secrecy provisions subject to gateways. One of the gateways, as has existed in the SFO since inception, is to do with passing information to overseas regulators for their purposes, subject to safeguards. But it is only an expression of national law. But as I say, although MOUs are not mandated, they are customary, if not more than that. They are inevitable, but they are not mandated by the law.
Okay. Are MOUs coming in ready-made, standard template or format? Is there international standard which the regulators will adhere to, or a certain template? And just then, the Deputy Secretary has also mentioned that these MOUs can be found, or you are going to publish them on the SFC website. Is that currently the case?
Yeah,
Two questions, yes.
Yeah, sorry, on the first point, this, you can't read it here, but this is the IOSCO template, which was published in 2010. And it really is an agreement amongst the members of IOSCO, which are the world securities regulators, about the sort of model contents of supervisor MOUs. So we pay a lot of attention to that simply because other regulators do as well. And we also participate in the generation of that document. So that is effectively the template, but it really operates as a kind of menu of items you can pick and choose to put into bilateral MOUs. So, but the short answer is yes, there is a template, but it's a flexible one. And in terms of publication of MOUs, I think that, yeah, that's right. So we would normally publish those MOUs on our website.
我想再跟進翻呢，頭先陳仲佳議員講個程序覆檢委員會呢，我想秘書長可以即係澄清一下呢，呢個程序覆檢委員會其實係咪喺個董事局之下嘅一個committee 啊，抑或係一個完全獨立於證監會一個委員會啊？同埋你哋呢一個程序覆檢委員會入邊嘅成員個任期幾多？有幾多人？同埋係咪即係佢哋嗰個身份係非執行董事咧，抑或完全獨立於個證監會咧？唔該嚇。
副秘書長。
係多謝主席。程序覆檢委員會係由政府嗰方面委任，係獨立於證監會外邊。佢個成員佢而家係由一個即係非官方嘅人士咧去作為主席啦。咁佢個構成呢，就係有唔同嘅界別嘅人士啦。亦都包括政府有律政處個代表喺度，咁當然證監會亦都有證監會嘅主席，亦都喺度作為一個成員之一嚇。咁但係就呢個大部分嘅成員，主要嘅成員都係非官方嘅人士嚇，有唔同嘅界別嘅人士。咁就佢哋每一年呢都會發表報告嘅。我記得佢哋最新嘅報告都係 2-3個月前亦都發表咗，就住各個佢哋睇過佢該年睇過嗰啲個案而得出嘅一啲喺程序上面佢哋認為第一同證監會交換過意見嘅地方，證監會俾佢哋嘅一啲反應，或者係佢哋對於證監會一啲程序上面嘅處理嘅睇法。咁都有喺個報告嗰度有交代嘅，咁就就住譬如證監會各個範疇，包括佢嗰個發牌嗰個制度啊，佢一啲執行法律嘅嗰個合規嗰個執法嗰個情況啊，或者係一啲產品嘅審批嘅情況咧，佢哋都會去睇嘅，咁就呢個亦都係包括去睇一啲個案，去睇個程序實際上係點樣執行嚇。
副秘書長，你頭先所講嘅個案咧，即係我想知道嗰個睇啲個案嗰個啟動機制係點樣樣？係咪委員會每一年喺個年頭就話我哋想睇呢啲個案，咁同證監會協商咗，抑或係證監會要求委員會去睇呢個啦，抑或係一啲市民覺得有啲程序唔係好妥當，要求呢個委員會去睇呢個，咁究竟呢3樣嘢究竟係邊？或者你3樣都有嘅，你可唔可以講一講咧？唔該你，秘書長。
梁議員啊，你而家提嘅呢啲問題咧，就 out of 我哋呢一個條例草案嘅嗰個範圍。
呢個唔係我提先嘅，係單仲偕議員提關於嗰個 protection 嘅問題。我問埋呢個啫，可唔可以俾你答埋？
秘書長咧就扼要啲咁多介紹一下，好嘛？如果係需要嘅話咧，我哋就俾一份嘅文件佢，因為呢啲其實都可以查得到嘅資料嚟嘅，好嘛？
我估或者我哋俾個文件啦，或者係附交，即係我哋最近嗰個委員會最近個報告俾各位省覽嚇。
好嘛？同時，如果冇其他問題咧，就我想問一問大家咧，就係有冇需要咧係邀請公眾人士咧？係就呢一條嘅條例草案呢，係發表意見，冇需要係咪？主席，
我諗咁啦，我諗一如正常啦，即係我哋喺個網頁裏邊提出嚟，如果有團體要求上嚟講嘅，我相信我哋要俾佢嚟講嘅。係，如果佢哋冇要求嘅，佢淨係俾書面意見㗎，我哋咪睇書面意見咯。
好啊。如果係邀請嘅話咧，我哋邀請咩人士咧？因為我哋通常唔會話廣泛邀請。
我哋喺個網頁有公眾邀請㗎嘛嚇。咁
唔係，主席，
我哋咁咧，睇下政府俾名單，我哋邀請。或
者你問下啲委員有冇即係團體名單？如果冇，咁就政府咯，或者係。
因為呢一條嘅條例草案嗰個修訂咧，佢係相當技術性嘅，亦都係有一定嘅範圍，就住佢哋嗰個即係工作咧，係做一啲修訂嘅啫。就唔應該咧，係就唔會同公眾嘅利益嗰度咧，就有咩大關係嘅嘢。咁所以政府你睇下有冇需要，因為我相信咧就政府都有可能接觸過一啲團體，徵詢過一啲意見啊。咁你睇下有冇需要報啲團體嘅名俾我哋邀請佢哋好唔好？好嘛？或者我哋業界裏邊相關嘅團體都可以嘅嚇。好，單仲偕議員有冇咩其他？冇，我諗冇啦係嘛？我相信嗰啲OK，咁我哋就咁樣都要安排咧，就暑假之後噶啦，可能都係9月份嘅時間，好嘛？我哋再夾啦嚇，具體嘅日子咧，我哋再夾，好嘛？如果同事冇其他問題咧，就今日我哋呢個會議開到呢度嚇，咁我會同秘書處咧就夾個時間，睇下下一次喺9月，我相信都係中下旬之後嘅時間，好嘛？OK，我宣布散會。